It's for the franchise.
Yeah, that happened. Derrick Rose just scored 50. It looked like he was an MVP costume from 2010 on Halloween night. Just throw a dunk in there and it would have been a done deal. I've said before that Derrick Rose has always been solid in those years in the Bulls, but just never MVP Rose. Now this happened and only one question comes to mind. Is this Derrick Rose the same as MVP Rose? What is up, dudes, dudettes, ballers, players? It's your boy MJ. I can't help but be happy for Derrick Rose. I loved watching his MVP years because he was just so exciting and he led his team to wins. He had so much potential, but his career took a turn with all those injuries. Now he had this outburst, and I want to analyze and compare this Derrick Rose with MVP Rose and see if this Rose is doing the same things or whether this was different. But first, I would appreciate y'all subscribe if you're new and hit that like button for faster uploads. Let's try to get to as many likes as Derrick Rose's hang time. 3,242. I also want to clarify something that was misunderstood in my 100k giveaway video. These hoodies are out now for 40 bucks. The reason why I said pre-order was because they're still in production, but if you order them now at mjallday.com, they will be in your hands in 3 weeks. So it would mean a lot if you go check it out, and now it's time for Derrick Rose. To compare Derrick Rose now, we need to look at MVP Derrick Rose and what made him so effective. Rose never had a super consistent jump shot and was never this uber skilled player. Instead, he effectively used his athleticism, angles, and creativity to impose his will on other players. Rose had an effective hesitation and a quick burst of speed combo. It wasn't only his first step, but the following steps that allowed him to get behind a defender, and there was no way a single defender could keep up with Rose. There were also his dunks.
I want to go higher!
And his crossovers. These were examples of his quick explosiveness, whether it was jumping or changing in direction. His legs generate crazy power. He would attack from angles by using those quick steps. On top of that, Rose was effective at sealing the defender behind him, shielding the ball from the defender with his back. That allowed him to do a lot because he would square his body in midair with the basket and do all those acrobatics. His rotational ability in the air was also impressive and amazing, allowing him to do all those acrobatic stunts to avoid defenders, and don't forget, it was pretty cool. If he didn't seal the defender behind him, he would use a floater. As for his jumper, he always had a flat jumper and a high jump on his jumper. There was nothing special about it, but he would use his driving game to create opportunities for his mid-range game. The channel By Any Means Basketball did a great job breaking down Rose's game, but these specific details are the most important. Let's compare that with the Derrick Rose that just scored 50 points. From the surface, it looks like Rose of the old, scoring the same way he always did. Derrick Rose still has the hesitation and those quick steps. He used it to get by Rubio all night, and he still tries to use those angles. Rose doesn't have that vertical explosiveness he did, but I think that was expected. He still uses what he has well and still has great rotation ability in the air to maneuver the ball. Rudy Gobert had a rough night because Derrick Rose was toying with him, and Rudy Gobert is one of the best defensive players in the league. But the one thing that Derrick Rose has lost, which has hurt him the most, is the ability to seal defenders behind his back. Because he can't seal those defenders behind him, he can't square his body towards the rim and is forced to take these weird contact layups while his body is falling away from the basket. Those are tougher shots to make, and yesterday he was making some of those. That was the problem when he was on the Knicks, but even then, Rose did average 8 in a game. It's just not the dominating Rose that we saw on the Bulls. Now, he might not be able to seal his defender because his steps aren't as quick as before, or his change of direction isn't as quick, whatever the case. But since he can't seal defenders, his acrobatic game starts to disappear. Still, I might have seen Rose have the most confidence I've ever seen him have past the Bulls last night. He was finally getting the ball in his hands with Jimmy Butler and Jeff Teague not playing. He was taking smart shots with patience the old Derrick Rose wouldn't do. He wasn't just relying on his athleticism. That's also why you saw him taking so many jump shots, because he knew he wasn't going to be able to attack the rim, and if he consistently makes those, then those lanes will be open and he might be able to steal his defenders behind him. So yeah, From the surface, it looked like we had MVP Derrick Rose back for a night, but in reality, it was just an old man Derrick Rose playing. But you know what? I prefer that. It gives me more hope that this is way more sustainable because Derrick Rose is finally using his IQ. And I love watching Derrick Rose play. And this gives me more hope because in today's game with this amount of spacing, he could really have an impact. And hey, if Derrick Rose builds up more confidence, the more Derrick Rose we get to see. But what do you think? Will Derrick Rose go back to being a star? What did you think of Rose's 50-point game night? Drop a like if you like this video and for Derrick Rose awareness, cause that man deserves every little bit of praise for sticking through the tough times. And subscribe cause we're building an all-day community. Check out the fire merch at mjallday.com. The Instagram shout out of the day goes to Darius Bennett and the all-day notification squad shout out goes to my boy Armand. Thanks for the all-day support. Make sure to hit the bell for all-day notifications, and if you're not a sub, hit that subscribe button and join the all-day community for more fire content, all-day support. It's your boy MJ. We out.